The NBA has seen its fair share of funny moments over the years. From J.R. Smith's blunder in the finals, to James Harden's complaining of Giannis's free throw routine, to LeBron breaking down because of a missed foul call, there's always something entertaining going on. As fans, it's hilarious. But for NBA players, they gotta be careful because laughing might just get them tossed out of games. Well, halfway into the 2024 season, it appears that even as the talent level gets higher and higher in the league, the funny moments don't stop, and rightly so. Ladies and gentlemen, after watching the NBA for 2 decades, I can honestly say the NBA just keeps getting more and more hilarious. Here's Karl Anthony Towns on top of the perimeter, setting a high screen for Mike Conley, and just watch what he does next.
For all those years, too.
Sheesh, guys. That was a monster move by Cat as he absolutely posterized Mo Wagner of the Orlando Magic. But that ain't what caught my attention. You see, after that vicious attack, I saw something I've never seen before. The entire Timberwolves bench stood up and started pointing at Mo Wagner, taunting him. Apparently, Mo is a low-key trash talker, which is what sparked the whole thing. But, with how games are being officiated these days, I'm actually surprised the ref didn't just give out a technical foul to each member of the Orlando Magic bench for taunting. But anyway, speaking of officiating, the recent officiating of the matchup between the Lakers and the Raptors in the fourth quarter was about as bad as they come. I mean, 23 free throws to 2 free throws in the fourth quarter alone? Once I got wind of that disgusting discrepancy, I just had to watch the whole quarter play by play, and from what I saw with my own 2 eyes, it just seemed that every time the Raptors so much as breathed down on any Laker player's neck, a foul was called. Like, look at this play, for example, where the refs call a foul on Thaddeus Young for an apparent foul on Austin Reeves.
Goes Reeves on its way. Big whistle.
What the heck was that, right? How the heck is this a foul? Then, to add insult to injury, every time the Raptors got touched, the refs didn't see anything. Like in this play here, for example, where Young clearly gets pushed by Prince's elbow, but the refs decided to turn a blind eye to it. Or in this play here, where it looks like there was a ton of contact as Barnes attacked the basket, but no whistle was called. The bench couldn't believe it either, as they raised their hands in disbelief. The cherry on top, then, is that the refs erased a game-tying 3 because they called an offensive foul on a bang-bang type of play. Talk about a one-sided monster performance by referees. As Kevin Durant would say,
"You the real MVP. You the real MVP. You the real MVP."
After the game, the Raptors head coach then went on an epic rant that'll go down in NBA history.
What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this.
When LeBron was asked about what he thought about the free throw disparity, the man just replied,
I feel like they fouled and we didn't.
What's funny is that just a short while ago, when LeBron was on the wrong side of just one whistle, which was called correctly, he was acting like the world was coming to an end. But anyway, this officiating is worse than how I felt last season in the playoffs when the Warriors went against the Lakers and the free throw disparity was 29-6 in favor of Los Angeles in Game 1, for example. Sheesh, guys. This is why I never want to see my team play the Lake Show in the playoffs, because you gotta beat the referees too. I mean, 23 free throws to 2? That's basketball blasphemy. Anyway, moving on here. The Detroit Pistons are still as bad as ever, and despite them barely snapping their 28-game losing streak against the Raptors, they're still on track to becoming the worst team in NBA history. They had a good chance to grab another win as they went on a 47-point first quarter stomping against the Kings, but they ended up losing that game by 21 points. Then, to add more smoke to this forest fire, their best player in Cade Cunningham is now out due to a knee injury, and in order for them to not have the worst NBA record in history, they gotta beat the win-loss percentage of the 2012 Charlotte Bobcats, who had a win percentage of 10.6%. This means that from here on out, of the remaining 44 games left, the Detroit Pistons gotta win at least 6 games. Ladies and gentlemen, we all see teams tanking each and every year for lottery positions, but we've never seen a team that's actually trying to win but stuck dead last. How in the world did the bad boy Pistons become just the bad Pistons? But anyway, let's see what else is going on around the league. Warriors fans are getting upset at Steve Kerr for his inability to put together lineups that work, and if you ask me, at this point in the season, he should just take a page out of the Minnesota Timberwolves playbook and just let the players figure it out themselves.
Scissors, and then paper, okay. Oh, Troy Brown.
Yeah, that's right, guys. You just saw Anthony Edwards getting subbed out of a game because he lost in a game of rock, paper, scissors. Moving on to the Grizzlies. As I expected, Ja Morant's reckless playstyle is catching up to his body. He may be a highlight reel, like his vicious dunk here on Victor Wembanyama, but after coming back from his 25-game suspension and playing in just 9 games, he's out for the rest of the season because of a shoulder injury. In the meantime, elsewhere in the Eastern Conference, Jordan Poole recently got a signature shoe from Nike. The only problem is the marketing of it. You see, the shoes are called the GT Cut 3. And I spoke earlier about how the Pistons are the worst team in NBA history with a record. But for this particular season, Jordan Poole is arguably the worst player. In terms of plus-minus, the Poole party is currently sitting at minus 342, which is the worst throughout all 30 teams. No cap here at all, guys, but Jordan Poole is now the face of the cut shoes. Cut, cut, cut is the marketing that Nike has for him on social media, with fans calling it terrible marketing, with fans saying, cut him from the league, with fans saying, blood finna get cut off the team. But anyway, Nikola Jokic recently put up one of the funniest stat lines I've ever seen. In a game against the Detroit Pistons, the Joker cruised to a victory by just taking 3 field goal attempts and scoring 4 points, but dishing out 16 assists. In this one particular game, he had more assists than the entire Pistons starting 5, for crying out loud. Now, however, it's time to start talking about Ben Simmons. The 2016 #1 overall pick has now become the highest paid model in the world. I mean, Sean O'Prey is listed as the #1 male model in the world at $1.5 million last year as per GQ magazine, but Ben Simmons is getting nearly a whopping $38 million a year to sit courtside, looking fashionable, and modeling for Ferrari. Actually, forget about just male models. Aside from Kendall Jenner, Ben Simmons is the highest paid model in the world, getting paid even more than Gisele Bündchen. On a more serious note about the NBA and contracts, Eric Spoelstra recently got the biggest NBA coaching contract in history, valued at over $100 million. But the real juicy story behind this is the Miami Heat gave him this contract after his divorce had been finalized. They say this man is the ultimate strategist, and this was just yet another one of his moves on the chessboard. I mean, time and time again, he gets so much value out of his players. Last season, the man had a team composed of half undrafted players to make the NBA Finals, and this year he selected one of the most underrated rookies, Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's been putting LeBron James in a blender and dropping 31 points on Christmas Day. Sheesh, guys. They're calling him Juan Wick, the Mexican version of John Wick, and after seeing him play, I'm kind of bummed out actually that the Warriors just narrowly missed out on him.